Okay, we have cost heads over here. So now cost heads are basically we have a head code. So I try and keep them as as good round numbers. So for example, 7,000. I know I'm jumping with 7050, 7100, 7130, and so on. So it is important to have them think about your cost codes, how you're gonna use them, and you need to come up with these numbers. The thing is that if you come up with these numbers over here, which is your head code, you need to stick with them because you will need to update these new numbers into the main lead developer feasibility application. So you can decide to continue using what I already have, but each one of these are used in the feasibility application. So let me just create one sheet and just show you where everything is at, so you get a perspective of, if I change it here, then in the main sheet I'll have to go and change it over there as well. And you only have to do this level of customization once. That is, if you are getting into it and you want everything to look and feel the same way you are already accustomed to. So I'll just click on new project. So anytime we create a new project, what it is doing, it is going into the lead developer master data sheet, and it is trying to look for this sheet over here. So under lead developer, we have this sheet over here, which is LD master data. And once it has found that sheet, it is going to create your feasibility application sheets over here. So this is our lead developer, and you'll see that it has all these calculations for. So in essence, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sheets. And most people, if you're not from Australia, you will not be using the project related site value, which is a typical way in Australia in order to come up to figure out a value for a site based on its development approval that it's already got. So a lot of valuers use this approach. In fact, that's where I've actually learned it from, different valuations that I got on my project, and then went and fought with the valuer that, how did he come up with this number or all these things. So I thought it would be a good idea to have this thing included in here, but this only applies to Australia and probably New Zealand if you are from New Zealand. If you're not, then you can just click on this thing and basically hide that sheet. It doesn't matter. But what I wanted to show you was that this sheet is not just these 7 sheets that you see over here. It also, when you click here, it'll show you that it's picking up your sheets from the company info, the cost code, and your job codes are getting picked up, and these sheets remain hidden. So if you open that up, all the changes that you made in those sheets, it will be here and it's locked. So anytime you want to make the changes over here, you can't make those changes over here directly. You have to go back. I'll just cancel. I'll just hide that again. You have to go back into your LD master data in order to make these changes. So if I was to change from GST to not applicable, I'll do that here and go back into my sheet over here. So let's just call this one test 1. And when I go over there, you'll see that every time I'll update this sheet. So let's say I go lead developer over here, and I click on save and refresh. What it is doing is it's picking up all the data that I had over there. So now it's picked up not applicable as my text name. So if I was to go here and change it, that's why these things, I mean, if you're from New Zealand, you won't be doing feasibility for GST one day and then not applicable the other day. That's why you just set it up once. So once you've done that, it automatically picks everything up automatically. So if I click on save and refresh over here, it will update that to reflect GST and margin scheme issues over here. So that's what I was trying to explain. Now let's go back into what we were looking at, all these cost heads. So cost heads are here, which are main cost heads. So these are basically accounts that will give you a subtotal they are like a subtotal head. So construction costs might have lots of different kinds of costs underneath it, but this is the main construction cost. These are the main budgeting and estimation costs. There are site works for the developer. We've got holding and running costs. We've got finance and ancillary costs. We've got finance and interest costs. All these things are here. So this is important. You need to be able to figure out how you are going to organize yourself in terms of these, because whatever you add over here, again, these have built-in alert mechanism and conditional formatting built in. So if I put 8499, and it's going to highlight it red and tell me, look, you can't use this thing again. So if I try and put operating expenses over here, it's going to highlight and say, look here, you already used that cost code over there. So cost head over there. So I need to have this to be unique 100%. So if I go 8500, it's gonna remove that, and if I change that to 2, it's gonna remove that. So again, you don't really have to do anything in column A. Column A is what the main feasibility sheet, which is going to be this sheet over here, is going to refer to. And whatever input you make in column B and column C in cost heads would automatically be generated over here. So it's pretty simple, straightforward, and the way it is designed is that you don't really need to change everything, but if you really do want to customize everything, you can spend that time and customize it once, so that it works every time you use them again. Now these cost heads, if you go into the sheet over here and I go into my development costs over there, you'll see that these ones, if I go collapse all of them, these are the main heads over here. So we've got land acquisition cost. So if I came here and I clicked on this, it's showing me this drop down from this sheet over here. So what I need to do is, if I need to change any of these, I need to first change them and then make sure that I come back and I change all of these main cost heads over here. These are referred to as cost codes. Again, they are all customizable. You can go and customize them, customize all of them, change their names, everything, and we'll go through each one of them. So let me zoom out a little bit so that you have a view of what everything is. So if I expand all of these, you'll see that all of this is actually a cost head. So whatever you allow, all the costs that you allocate over here will get totaled in this column, in this row above that, because this is the main cost head. So if I click on this, expand all of them, you can see all of them in one hit. And if you are making changes to this, it's a good idea that the first one that you've got, you actually come in and keep changing them as you go, because you will lose track of them, and you'll forget where I'm making these changes, because these changes do not just affect here, they are used everywhere. So we've got development revenue over here, we've got commercial sales over here, but these are very generic ones. So if you've got agents commission and settlement, you will need to come in and change that. If you've changed that name to something else, you will need to come up and change that name so that you can 100% customize your template. Once it is done, your template is customized. As you can see, next time you just click on pick template and you can pick the one that you've customized without changing everything every time you do a feasibility. So that's to do with the cost heads. Next we'll look at cost codes.